To shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Maysa Shawky, Professor of General Health at Cairo University. Dr. Shawky, good afternoon to you. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Dr. Maysa, what is your assessment of the women's turnout for President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's sustainable initiative to support the women's health?
Well, this initiative has been a very important one, introduced the 100 Million Health Initiative by His Majesty the President.
Yes.
And it's been there on the ground, really delivered through community awareness programs all over Egypt. It started sequential in several governorates, and right now it's covering all Egypt.
Yeah.
And it's been delivered through almost like 3,500 primary healthcare centers, calling for women to pay attention to the preventative services for their health. It's been directed to women in the fertile age group, and started with calling attention for antenatal care and natal care and postnatal care, and then it took a certain direction for the prevention of cancer, and we are speaking about cancer breast and cancer of cervix, and it is engulfed with awareness about healthy nutrition, the importance of physical activity, avoiding smoking and passive smoking, and avoiding violence against women as well, and women empowerment, and creating chances for women to have like good opportunities to learn handcrafts and jobs to create an income. And this has been disseminated, especially so in the Upper Egypt before the Lower Egypt.
Yes. Dr. Maysa, how does the prevention benefit both the women and the state as well?
Well, preventative services are very important because they give people the chance for early detection. And whenever disease is detected early, people and women in particular are directed for early curative care. With the early prevention and early curative care, we can avoid totally getting sick, and we can also avoid the deleterious complications and the expenses that puts a great toll on the healthcare services.
Doctor, how has the initiative succeeded in raising the women's awareness of their health in general?
Well, it's been there like 3 years or 5 years ago, calling people and calling women to come to the healthcare services for preventative care. So women are now primed with the preventative messages, and they go regularly to the primary healthcare services. They know their rights, and they also know that they can benefit from going over there for the early detection. So it's not a foreign message for them. To the opposite, they know well about the benefits that are going for the primary health care for the service.
What are the most important?
And they also got to know all around in every district that there have been women who were detected with early breast cancer. They received the appropriate treatment, whether it's chemotherapy or radiotherapy, and surgery, and they returned back to their homes and their families. And we understand right now that it is very serious for a family to lose the mom, whether for the husband and for the kids as well.
Yes. What are the most important services provided according to the initiative for women throughout the different Egyptian governorate, Dr. Maysa?
Well, one part of the story, and it's an important part, it's the prevention of cancer breast and cancer cervix. But we are also speaking about the chronic non-communicable diseases, which might include hypertension and diabetes and obesity and overweight and obesity, of course. We are talking about the risk factors for chronic diseases altogether, and they contribute to cancer in a very direct way.
Yes. The free screening units are deployed throughout the Republic according to the initiative. How do you see the participation, or to what extent we can say that the females are actually willing to go and do the screenings and do the tests and the early screenings? To what extent they are willing to do so?
We have mobile units for the mammography, We have a huge mobile units that go around in the remote areas where there is no immediate services, diagnostic services. So women make use of this mobile services. And it's been also published that there has been 267,000 mammograms being done for the early screening. So women benefit from this kind of service. Of course, it's preceded by history taking, by clinical examination, and by breast examination. And then finally, for the women who are at high risk or who have palpable masses, they underwent the mammography in particular that made this figure quite high. And all around the world, such service is not offered within a preventative program. It is offered only within a curative service. So here in Egypt, we are taking the first leap for the positive health for women.
Yes. Do you believe that certain women are still reluctant to go and have the screening and try to do some tests in order to try to protect themselves and protect their health from or to have some early detection here for any possible disease?
Maybe women were reluctant like a couple of years ago, but right now it is very well recognized that this is the right, and it is offered with a presidential advocacy. So when it's called for women to go to the primary health care center, they do go, and they are very well received and receive appropriate attention and care. And they're being investigated, clinically examined, and they get referred and receive curative treatment. So it's no more like a vocal initiative. It's a real one on the ground, and it is materialized. Women in all districts realize how important it is and what kind of benefit they get when they go.
Yes. What's your advice here for the Egyptian women, Dr. Maysa, in order to try to have an early detection, just have early screenings, early tests in order to have a follow-up in order to stay in good health? What's your advice?
Well, I'll take over the statement mentioned very recent by President, by the Minister of Health, Dr. Khalid Abdel Ghaffar. He announced that it's a message for all women all over the governorate to seek for the primary health care, to take their preventative health services, to get their records installed, to register their families in the family health units, and to get the regular follow-up, and to take also the family planning and reproductive health services as well.
Yes. Also, Dr. Maysa, we have to talk about the keenness of the Egyptian administration to launch many initiatives concerning the health, 100 million health initiative, the initiative regarding the curing from virus C, and now this initiative regarding the health of women. How do you see these initiatives, and what more do we expect here in order to have a healthier and more suitable life for the Egyptian citizen?
Well, this initiative for 100 million health is one of the biggest over the globe, that we are seeking all the population with preventative health services, with round turns of regular screenings. It took the mothers and the children as well. It took all adults for the hepatitis C, and it incurs a curative program for the hepatitis C virus, which has given us a very bad reputation worldwide. Now, our reputation is that the Egyptian physicians are the prime ones to seek when you need to endorse a clinical practice guideline anywhere in any country.
Yes. Doctor,
it turned the way round from the very sick population to a population is taking the lead for appropriate health conditions for its people.
Dr. Maysa Shawky, Professor of General Health at Cairo University, thank you so much for your very precious input. Always a pleasure, Dr. Maysa.